Okay, so welcome to the introduction for my new Out of the Park. Baseball 24 save the and the Premier Baseball Association with the Toronto Leafs. Now there are two leagues here. The Federal League, which is based off the real life Federal League, which played I think from 1914 to 15 as a kind of like third major league, which is the same for the other league that we have here. But in the first year, it was just like an independent league. And then the Continental League, which was a proposed major league in the 60s or 50s or something. However, eventually, it was proposed by William Shea, who you might know, of course, of Shea Stadium, the former Mets Stadium. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he tried creating his own league, the Continental League. However, it got shut down, and he eventually just awarded the Mets. So yeah, everything kind of just got resolved. But this is what if kind of the both of the leagues lasted long enough, and I guess we're in the same timeline to merge. It's a stupid idea, but I wanted to go with it because why not? So let me introduce you to the league. To begin, in the first team in the FL East, this isn't really a real Federal League team. It was the Miami Marlins, who as you can see have Mike Fowler and Santos Vanove. After them, you have the Buffalo Blues with Tyler Bosky and Jose Santana. Closers don't count. And then there's the Expos with Francisco Rosales, who's probably one of the best. Okay, that is one of the best players I think I've ever seen. Okay. And then there is also Rico Ortiz as a closer. For the Terrapins, there's actually four very good players. I'm not really gonna point out who everyone is, because obviously you could probably do that, but Actually, yeah, we're not really gonna do that. We're just gonna kind of introduce you to our own team, the Toronto Leafs. Of course, meant to be pretty much meant to be the Toronto Maple Leafs, who were obviously a hockey team and were actually at one point a baseball team. Yeah, there was a baseball team known as the Toronto Maple Leafs. And yeah, it was very interesting times for baseball. For our best player, we have by far shortstop Mario Cavazos. Shortstop, his nickname is Dell, and he can't really avoid strikeouts. His power's fine. His gap power's a little bit fine. But his home run and eye are like the best parts of his game, in my opinion. He's gonna be really good at knocking those home runs over the wall. Mario Moncayo, 68 overall. Pretty well-rounded player, except for a splitter, which is better than a lot of the other things he has. Then there's Wilfredo Grajeda. Again, a pretty well-rounded player. Although, obviously, his eye is a little bit worse, but whatever. A lot of people tell me that gap power isn't that big. But we'll see I'll see if they're right once we get into the game. And then there's a Victor Sanchez, very good gap power and very good speed as well. Like he is a big speedster right there. And yeah, and then pitching wise, after leading off for the Maple Leafs is Victor Sanchez. We already know about him. And then after that, there's then Carlos Gallego. He's just kind of an all-around good hitter, good runner, everything like that. The defense is the worst part of his game, though. He only has 35 infield arm, although he is the first baseman, so he doesn't need to be that good at defense. Then there is Josh Jenkins, third baseman from the West. Yeah, he's not that speedy. I mean, he is 30, what do you expect? However, he has good contact, good avoid Ks, and that's kind of about it. He's very good at turning double plays, but he is a third baseman, so you kind of expect that. After Josh Jenkins, there's Chris Kastner. The contract is 50, gap power 55. Home run, eye discipline, and avoid Ks. Avoid Ks is actually his max, which means he will probably foul a bunch of balls, but we'll see. And then you can see he's a pretty good stealer, but he's really just good at stealing and base running. He's not really that big on speed. He's just a good stealer of the bases. So, yeah. Not sure how that works, but whatever. And then John Groh. who's probably the worst player we have on the team, a right fielder um from the U.S., Santa Maria, California. I guess if you want to be specific, he's pretty good at defense, has 70 outfield range, very bad at speed, and a little bit of a below average hitter, honestly. Yeah, he's not that good. And then Francisco Melendez is probably, yeah, he sucks. He is a terrible catcher. He is very good catcher ability, very good catcher arm, but besides that, he just sucks. Terrible hitter, terrible speed. Like, his speed is literally at the minimum. It's like, I don't know. It's like in round 140. We did not have another catcher. Let me actually check this. Because we definitely, I'm guessing, yeah, no. Do we have another catcher? Yeah, no, we have Alex Barrera, but he's also, we did not have, I'm in disbelief, but yeah, it looks like we just don't have another catcher. I'm shocked. I'm as shocked as you are, it looks like. Mario Moncaya, we already covered. Then after him, there's Francisco Castellanos, 22 years old, Dominican Republic. He's fine. He's a little bit above average, but that's all I'd really say for him in this case. Dave Gay, he's a pretty average pitcher, and yeah, that's about it. Joe O'Donnell, very good control, and that's about it. But also very good at holding runners out wherever they are. Bryce Amador, again, he's fine. He's just kind of average again. And then Chris Kirkpatrick, pretty average, except for his holding runners. He's pretty bad at that. So we'll see how that goes. I'll see if there's any very good prospects that we got. Let me just check the player development screen. Checking there, our best prospect at left field is Randy Bentz, but he's already in the majors. In terms of non-major league prospects, there's Julio Traversoni, playing for the Chesapeake Thunder Bears. Then playing at center fielder Chris Hitchcock, playing for Arcoma Surge in the PBA AA. And then right fielder's Mike Danner, who's again, he just kind of sucks. And then our third baser, Danny Maldonado. I mean, he's fine, but he's not really. No, he's not that good. He's just not that good. Tyler Hinojosa. He has good sack, bunt, and bunt for hit, but that's about it. He's not really that good either way, though. Then there's Francisco Cruz playing for the Surge again. He's one of our better prospects, probably the second best prospect so far. At first base, we have Oliver Porte. Again, really nothing to be excited about there. At starting rotation, we have Bryce Amador with 48 potential. He's fine enough. And then there's Jamie Jarrett. Again, 20 overall. 20 overall, 20 potential. And yeah, the rest of these guys not that good. Although Mark Johnson does have a good knuckleball. And then at catcher, Jay Paulus is our best guy. I could probably, he's not as good as our current starting catcher on the Major League team. Really just due to the catcher ability alone. And then there's Richard Wyman, relief pitcher. I would say is currently their best prospect by potential. That's 61 potential. And then there's Danny Pena, I don't know. I think he's like our second or third best prospect. 49 potential. Although his ratings do look a lot better than 49 potential. And then there's Oscar Rivera, and not really much to talk about. And I think that's going to be about it. I'm sorry. Also, I'll go over the games. Yeah, and next episode, this was just the introduction. We'll go over the Atlanta Hammers in the Continental League East. We're, of course, in the same division. And then that'll be about it for, actually, we have to sim the regular season where I think it's, in the regular season we take on the Colorado Rockies. I just sim the spring training, which I might not do, so whatever. But, yeah, that's about it for your Toronto Leafs out of park dynasty. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye. Okay,